I was 20. And for the first time in my life, I had a boyfriend. At least I thought I did. When he picked me up in my dorm building in my undergrad, you could look up and see me in the window, often reading. Very kitty cat-like. Anyway, so my boyfriend, Steve, picked me up to go to a swing dance. We were swing dance partners. We went to the dance, and then about 11:30 he said, "I don't want to go home." And I said, "Okay, come back with me." Now I went to a Catholic school, so men were not allowed in the building after a certain point. So I couldn't exactly take him in the front door. So I told him to wait out back, and then I snuck him up the back entrance, up the stairway, and into my room. I ran across the hall and told my roommate that we'd be spending the night. She said, "Okay." So I went back in my room, and I found him looking at my movie collection and said, "Jess, why don't we watch a movie?" And I said, "Oh, that sounds great. Which movie?" And he said, "Well, you have Romeo and Juliet, Baz Luhrmann version." And I said, "Okay, that sounds great, but why Romeo and Juliet?" And he told me that when he picked me up and he looked up and saw me in my window, he said I reminded him very much of Juliet. So we watched the movie and we were sitting on my bed, and he put his arm around me, and after a while he started tickling me. And then he tackled me, and I looked up as he looked down, and he said, Jessica, can I kiss you?" And I said, yes you can. And he kissed me. And this wasn't a nice, sweet, innocent sort of kiss. This was, I've been waiting 3 months to kiss you, and I'm going to kiss you. And he kissed me a lot. And then, because Romeo and Juliet was playing in the background, I said, "Steve, you kissed by the book." And he said, "Well, then give me Lexington again." So at least he got the reference. And he did kiss me again. And he looked down at me and said, "You know what, there's nowhere else I'd rather be." And I said, "I agree." And that is the story of my first kiss.
Yeah. TWA flight 764. Yeah. No. It goes to St. Louis first, and then, yeah, and then it flies from San Diego to St. Louis, and then St. Louis, Denver.
Yeah, it's a frequent flyer ticket. Yes. Okay. Yeah. No. I can't make it. It's just, okay. I'll talk. Yeah. I'll talk.
I'm sorry, what was that? Well,
There's 17 invitations sent when I checked. Well, it was on, I don't know, paper with buttercream or linen. I don't remember. Yeah?
if he wants to bring her, he'll bring her. And she'll be there, and we'll just have a great time. Right? Uncle Ted and bean salad, you know it. It's a good time.
Michael Todd. T-O-D-D. T. T-O-D-D. As in Todd. T-O-D. D is a dog.
I had stuff.
It was very,
All of the girls.
King Glove Frontier is just a handle. It's a handle.
Nice apartments.
447
There was this big part.
6161. Close to where DOB 0202 1978.
Oh, will be all these.
405-623-6637.
cut my life.
He really forgot who he was.
1810
Bookshelf.
Rambridge Lane.
In the summer.
I'm
212.
out at dinner.
Thank you. The lights were across the field.
They're very big deal, so
What is that?
I called.
We were in, I didn't know offhand.
Usually, sound falling.
Can I do it anyway?
Finally, I get about it, said,
It
okay.
was splattering and it was like.
All this went until it's actually it was really.
And afterwards,
And they're
Turning around.
In fact, I turned over and
Couch.
was standing there.
sitting and cat was just there.
Pissing all over.
On the couch.
Just find them out. Oh, my goodness.
I live in Baltimore City, and there are a lot of row houses, so people kind of living one on top of each other. And I have a dog, and his name is Ben. He's old, and he's a basset hound and a beagle mix. And beagles in particular are bred to be hunting dogs. But he's not really a hunting dog. He's actually really bad at it. He doesn't catch anything, but he has the instinct, so he tries hard. And living in Baltimore City, there's a really big rat problem. So we have rats in our backyard, and our neighbors have rat burrows, and Ben loves it because he wants to go outside and try to hunt the rats. He never gets anything, but he likes to sniff. So our neighbors, our next door neighbors, one day decided that they were going to put out rat poison in the form of pellets and not tell us about it. So the following morning after they put out this rat poison, Ben normally gets up really early because he wants to eat. So I got up with him, and it was early, so I was really sleepy and wasn't paying attention. And I went upstairs and I let him out in the backyard, fed him, let him out. And then I was kind of wandering around the kitchen. And I was wandering around the kitchen and I was kind of doing dishes, cleaning up. And I all of a sudden got this feeling like something was not right in the backyard. So I looked out the window and I could see standing there with this big, enormous rat in his mouth. And he was shaking his head back and forth like crazy. You know how animals try to do if they try to kill something? But this thing was clearly already dead. So I didn't know what to do. I just burst the door open and ran outside. And the only thing I could think instinctually to do to get the rat out of his mouth was I just held off and I hit him as hard as I could on his face. Which was so sad because before that he had been looking up at me like, "Look what I got, Mom, I finally got one." So I hit him and he drops the rat and he starts to then lunge for the rat again. So I'm holding him back and I pick up the rat by the tail and I throw this rat, but we have this high fence in our backyard. So the rat hit the top of the fence and then slid down. So then Ben, of course, thinks I'm trying to play fetch with him or something. So he starts running over to the rat, and I run over to the rat, and I'm kind of like kicking him to try to get him away from